since Tim is away, I can eat chips. Sorry.
Did you finish there, Crunchy?
Serpents, spiders, tail over rats. Call in the spirits wherever they're at. Send out your kiddos or put them to bed. They don't need to hear the words that are said. Goblins and ghoulies with drinks that are green. They toast up their spirits to nudes yet unseen. Curses and cackles and warm ruffle sounds ring out till barkeeps announce final round. 3 sheets to the mouse is coming, and quick. If you don't like it, you can all suck my dick.
Hello, Three Sheets Nation, and welcome to episode number 137 of Three Sheets to the Mouse. We are 3 average, ordinary gentlemen, and we have an absolute love for all things related to Disney. Joining me this week on tonight's show are 2 other fellas that know which end of the dipstick goes in first. Tim?
I don't know what to say to that. That's a little strange. Just saying.
That's basically the barometer for the whole show tonight. Adam?
Well, you know, if you lube it up enough, I think you can use either end.
Well, I mean, if anyone's ever operated a dipstick, you know that it's pretty thin. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. You can shove it in and out and not hit both sides.
What's the point of that?
I don't know. It you know what? It's not going to waller it out, but you'll hit the bottom. So, tonight we're going to talk about no Disney parks. We're going to talk Disney resorts, Disney booze, and I guarantee you someone's going to be debaucherous on this episode of Three Sheets to the Mouse. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite bottle of scotch, then put it back in the cabinet, and just get a cheap-ass beer. Let's get rolling tonight with another great episode of Three Sheets to the Mouse. Gentlemen, it's been a hell of a week.
Yes.
It has.
Yes, and it hasn't stopped yet.
No, the Mondays just keep on rolling, man. Every day's been Monday for the last month. Granted, the month is midway, so yeah, 2 weeks of Mondays.
And probably since I've been back from BSB, it's been a Monday.
Yeah. Adam, there will be no Mondays when you come to visit.
Except for the one I go home on.
Oh, that's going to, ironically, that's going to be the Mondayest Monday you've ever dealt with.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, how's your week been, Tim?
You know how they say when it rains, it pours? They don't lie.
I was hoping you were going to say it's been a drought.
No, they don't lie. It's been a shitty week so far.
My weekend has been a dust bowl of Mondays. Adam?
It's been fucking busy. And just, you know, it's been stupid. That's the best way I could put it. The week has been fucking stupid. And it's not that it's bad, it's not that it's good, it's just all bullshit, and I don't want to deal with it anymore.
Well, I was gonna try to console you, but you just clocked out, so I got nothing for you now. Well, listen, I'm kind of riding high after the Make-A-Wish thing that we did today for a kid going to Disney, so that made up for all the Mondays I've had this month.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't get to catch the live feed, but I watched the video playback. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, the live stream, they said they're going to come in any minute, and like 8 minutes later, I'm still holding my phone up, trying to entertain the 11 people who, God bless you, stuck with me on that when it was just the band playing the same 4 songs over and over again. But yeah, that was quite a production. I mean, that was a production is what that was. And it was great. We hung out with the family afterwards. There was finger foods, which was good because I was like finger hungry. And
how many fingers did you end up eating?
I had 7 and they weren't even mine.
Awesome.
I meant to text this picture to you guys because all of the snack foods were Star Wars themed because the boy wants to. His original wish was he wanted to be Darth Vader. That's a bit of a stretch for a 6-year-old. Okay, I know they did the boy that was Batman. I get that, but that's a bit of a girthy stretch. So, Make-A-Wish is like, ooh, we can send you to Galaxy's Edge, and you can. Well, I didn't say you can meet Darth Vader because I know better, but he was they're okay with that, and the kid is like he eats and breathes Star Wars. So seeing him interact with the 501st that came out for it, he was talking to one of the someone dressed up like one of the Red Guard.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, nice.
And was basically talking shit to him about how Kylo Ren and Rey kicked his butt in the movie.
Nice.
Which I thought was hilarious. And then they had someone dressed up like a 6-foot Jawa, which was weird, but they were totally in character because they were walking around the whole time trying to trade with people, admiring their jewelry and the bracelets and the clothing and reaching into their bag and offering them garbage and trying to trade. And they dropped like 1,000 balloons or something like that from the ceiling, and this Jawa was trying to pick up balloons and shove them in his little pouch because he wanted to leave with one. It was great. And then he did do some trading in the little reception area with like other members of the faculty who just didn't know what the hell was going on. What's that guy? I'm like, well, he's a Jawa. He's a big damn Jawa.
He's a basketball playing Jawa.
Right,
so
yeah.
he didn't have anything like good to trade, because I know like when they had him in Disney World down in Launch Bay, when they had him there, if you gave them a decent or a high value item, they'd sometimes come back with you with something really nice. So he just had garbage in his bag.
I don't know what he had in there because I didn't get a chance to interact with him like everybody else did. I was as a Make-A-Wish representative. I was representativating.
Oh.
But it was a lot of fun. Listen, everybody listening, I went live in it. I'm sure by the time this drops, it's been buried. Maybe I'll pin it for a couple weeks as an announcement. That way you can check it out because everybody knows we are totally in on fundraising and charities and Make-A-Wish and giving kids a great experience down in Disney and cancer kids. So anyway, enough of that. You can watch it. You can cry like everybody else watching it by the end did. So good on you. But tonight, let's have some sips. I actually said to put away your scotch and get a cheap beer, but I don't listen to myself. I'm gonna go first tonight, which is fucking the first time in 137 episodes. Whoever's doing all the talking goes first.
That is a lie.
Oh, second time. It
Yes.
can't be more than 2.
Second time.
Okay.
Wait, but did you introduce yourself?
Nope. Old habits die hard. I'm the dinner plates of the group. I'm Mikey, the ginger. There. Now you know my voice. I'm from Arkansas. It sure sounds like it, right? To those of the uninitiated. Tonight I kept my scotch out because I don't have any cheap beer. I wish I did, actually. I'm drinking my Bowmore 12. Or it could be Bowmore 12. Or it could be Boa Moray. Either way, it's 12. And I like it just because it's smoky, it's nasty, it's gnarly. No one else that I know, literally within my circle here at home, would touch the shit. So all Isla scotches are safe here.
Okay, so now I have a dumb question, because I just started barely touching some of the smoky stuff and realized that I liked some of it.
Sure.
So on a scale from like Arbeg smoky to like a milder smoky one, where is that rank?
If mild smoky, we're talking about like a Highland Park.
Yeah.
12 or something like that. This is. Let me take a sip, actually.
Does it taste like you mouth fucked an ashtray?
No. Maybe you kissed somebody who mouth fucked an ashtray.
So secondhand mouth fucking.
It is. Right. It's sloppy seconds. It's more aggressive, Adam, because it has more brine. It has like more peat, more smoke, and then it has a lot of brine to it. It has that really salty, briny flavor.
I like salty.
That's why I really like the Bowmore. But my absolute, and again, I like Ardbeg, but man, I can sit and just drink Highland Park like crazy, because that's just a really great Scotch that gives you a little bit of smoke and good flavor. But it doesn't, it's not overwhelming. It's a good entry level. And I know people drink Monkey Shoulder and complain about the smokiness to it. And there's no smoke in Monkey Shoulder.
I don't ever remember smoking Monkey Shoulder.
And like not all Scotches have that smokiness. And sometimes you hear people that have listened to other shows and talked to other people talk about a smoky Scotch. And they imagine smoke that they're getting out of it. But, this one, I'll let you give it a shot when you come visit.
Sounds like a plan.
It's not Ardbeg. It is maybe like 68% Ardbeg, but then it's got the brine in there that Ardbeg lacks, so you get a little bit more complexity.
Okay.
So there you go. That's what I got. Tim, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, I too wish I had some cheap ass beer, but I drank all that over the weekend.
Right?
So I've got some standard Woodford Reserve.
Oh, just the basic. I say basic. God, what kind of fucking whiskey snob have I become? Just the basic Woodford.
There's people. Mikey has become the whiskey snob.
Right. There's no double reserve. It's just regular.
See, I've got some double oaked store pick in the cabinet.
I'm wanting to find another barrel of double, and I can't.
Adam, I got a place for you to go so you can hit up and sample all the whiskeys that they got for their store selections. They've always got a Woodford double.
And they let you sample them in the store?
Yeah. You don't have that?
No.
Wow, we don't have shit in Arkansas, but we got a place where they have a tasting bar and they have like select whiskeys available back there, and they'll pour you a little bitty communion cup.
Our liquor stores are state run. We're lucky we can still buy alcohol.
They have wine tastings.
Those are wine tastings, but that's wine. Everybody does wine tastings.
Yeah.
They've got wine. They've got a growler station, and they'll give you a little communion cup of whatever beer they got in the growler station, and you can also sample a lot of the different bourbons and scotches.
That's a little weird to me. I would love that.
That sounds fucking amazing to me.
I had a good friend that worked there, and he was very heavy-handed, and he would fill up the cup completely. So you'd basically be getting like a little more than a 1 ounce pour.
Well,
and I would taste everything whenever I visited. I'd have like 8. Yeah, I don't know that he works there anymore.
Oh.
He kept getting in trouble because he would taste it with you.
Yeah, that's probably not the way that's
frowned
supposed
upon.
to work.
And well, no, it's not really frowned upon, but he would taste it with everybody.
Oh, so we'd get shit-faced at work, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You should try this. It's a really good taste.
I get it. You want to be able to compare tasting notes with somebody to sell that, $50 or $60 bottle of whiskey, because here in the South, that's not what folks are going in there and buying. They're going in there, they're getting Crown, they're getting Jack, or they're getting just the cheapest shit, the fucking Bird Dog. Or Fireball. A lot of Fireball gets sold down here. A lot of Fireball.
No Fireball. No Fireball.
Well, then what are you drinking, Adam, if you don't have Fireball?
I only had Fireball once. And that
I've only had it one time as well.
I bought a bottle of it when the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots were like a thing. And I ended up, we had a party, we did Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots with the Fireball and the rum chata and the cinnamon sugar on the rim. I ended up throwing out the rest of it because after the party I was like, I can't drink this. This is nasty.
So the Fireball got thrown out, and the rum chata, I want to say, curdled in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
because we never used it.
Never used it after that.
I think I've had Fireball one time, and I've had a cocktail that had rum chata in it that I just ordered something real quick because I don't know the circumstances, but it was one of those hurry up and get it, or maybe somebody was buying and I was like real quick, I'll have a and
Yeah,
really,
ended up with the
I did. I had the
So what I got for me, I got Four Roses small batch, which is kind of my go-to. It's not super expensive, and it's a good, easy drinking bourbon to me.
That's like 30, mid-30s.
Yeah, right about.
Yeah, I think I picked that one up for 31.
So it's
Okay,
not
yeah,
awfully
yeah.
expensive. It's super easy to get, and it's just comfortable, easy drinking. If you don't want to go all crazy.
Down here, I think it usually runs about $4 more than what you guys normally pick stuff up for. So it's like 4 or 5 more. So that's when I say mid-30s. That's what it usually runs. Here, then you can get the.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can get the blend. I think for like maybe 28.
If I pick it up in Jersey, it's a little more. But if I pick it up at the state store over here in Tannersville, it's $31, $32.
Yeah, usually for some reason up in Pennsylvania, the Four Roses is on sale.
Yeah.
So, don't know why that is, but not complaining about it.
I'd love to catch a store pick for Roses, but those sell out quick over here for some reason.
Store picks don't really move that fast down here because, like I said, this isn't the market. There are no refined whiskey drinkers down here, so maybe that's why the selection's not that super great, and the store picks sit there for a while, and they age further on the shelf, but don't get marked down. Hell no, because the store's got too much money tied up in that barrel they bought.
Yep.
All right. Well, tonight, we're not. We talked a lot about bourbons, whiskeys, scotch right now, but that's not what we're talking about this evening. This evening, we're gonna leave the parks, like I said, and we're gonna go to a resort. At the Sheet Up, Tim and Adam and myself, we stayed at the Grand Floridian. It was my first time to be on that property. Was it? You guys got there a day ahead of us, actually.
2 days.
So you
2
guys,
days.
We got there Monday.
2 days, okay. But was that your
Yes,
first time
yes.
to be there?
We're all Grand Floridian
Okay.
virgins.
All right. That's right, GFV. Which sounds like some type of disease, actually.
A little bit. It's either that or a test for the disease.
Right? Well, I have not had it, to my knowledge.
The disease or the test.
Both.
Yes. She looked clean.
Oh, you got that GFE. There's a test for that now. We have to go put you through.
You could pick that test up at the Dollar Tree.
It's right next to the Clorox and right before the Colgate. Not Colgate,
True story.
Colgate.
They got pregnancy tests at the dollar store,
yeah.
man.
I
would
saw
trust that.
I saw that
pregnancy.
meme the other day, and I was like, "What?"
I would trust that.
Yeah, that's like just at that point, just ask someone on Facebook, "Am I pregnant?"
Well, I mean, it's right up there with buying a dollar store condom. That can't be a good idea either.
Do you only get one for $1? That's gas station level, man.
Well, no, you get a 40-pack for the Dollar Tree.
Oh, what? You just, that might work for me because then I could layer up
And they're Trojams.
and hit all the walls. They're toe jams.
That's what I heard.
And Earl,
Well, it's a dollar store. I mean,
that funky fresh beat.
Oh, wow. We are so disrailed.
Yeah, we went Sega Genesis.
it wouldn't be a show if we weren't. Oh, Toe Jam and Earl. I used to love that game.
Such a
I
good
think it's
game.
maybe the first Toe Jam and Earl reference in 137 episodes.
I kind of...
I'm not going to go
I would
back and
assume
check,
yes.
though.
Well, this is the whole episode about first. It was the first time for all of us at Grand Floridian, so
That's right. And we did. We stayed there, so we thought, hey, let's do a little talk about it because folks had a lot of questions about what that particular resort was like, and our experience was more DVC related, so we decided to break it down and kind of go back to a little bit of the history of the resort and do it upright. Now, there's quite a bit of history regarding the Grand Floridian. The backstory for the actual resort, because everything in Disney has a story or a backstory, or, you know, to go along with the theming. Is that the Grand Floridian's, you know, bright white towers and the gabled roof would echo back to the Victorian architecture, and, you know, that came to symbolize Florida's carefree winters and balmy summer nights. And the resort does reflect that era of, you know, when you had the wealthy construction magnates and the railroaders and stuff. They built these new railroad routes and all these new resorts and everything in Florida, and then you had a large influx of people, so they built this hotel at the end of this line. There's a grand terminus line, and that's their story of just the railway comes in and they built this grand hotel at the end of the terminus, and that is the Grand Floridian Resort. It's known as the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. It is probably one of the flagship, it is a flagship resort and one of the main resorts around, you know, the Magic Kingdom area. It is styled after what you would say is like a romantic turn-of-the-century resort. But when it was originally being planned, Disney actually had something else in mind completely. And, you know, when he was flying over and he had his code-named Florida project, Walt had planned for 5 luxury resorts to be built around Magic Kingdom. You had the Contemporary and the Polynesian Village. There was going to be an unnamed Asian resort, a Venetian resort, and a Persian-themed resort. Now, going all the way back to 1967, you know, there were actual published mentions of these hotels with South Seas and Cape Cod kind of leanings to them, and you know, the Contemporary and the Polynesian opening in 71. The other 3, they were, you know, Disney was kind of holding back on. Walt Disney World was holding back on to see if, you know, there was going to be a demand to have, you know, 3 more resorts opening in the next 5 years. So you had early construction images around the Poly and the Contemporary show them in the same location they are today, but you had this Persian-themed resort that would have been located north of the Contemporary, and the Venetian resort would have been between the TTC and the Contemporary. But the Asian resort was going to be built right between the Poly and Magic Kingdom. And I keep mentioning this because this Asian resort is the one that was kind of the tipping point on getting to the Grand Floridian. It was always part of the original plan for the Walt Disney World resorts. And during construction, Disney had actually set aside a little square plot of land northwest of Seven Seas Lagoon for this Asian-inspired resort, to the point where they had models and detailed drawings made, but construction never moved far enough forward. And, you know, reasoning for this falls 2 different directions. You know, some blamed it on the oil crisis of the 70s, and then some said, you know, maybe it was a result of a lack of time and money for Disney after buying out U.S. Steel. They couldn't get along with building an elaborate hotel down in that area. So nothing happened for like 2 decades. Until, in 84, Michael Eisner becomes the CEO. And, you know, he had architects working on this Mediterranean resort, but he also had Imagineers designing a companion hotel that was going to be just as large and was to be called the Grand Floridian. It was obviously more elaborate, with architectural references back to the, like Meisner's, which is a reference to Addison Meisner, an architect who established the classic, 1920s type Palm Beach resort style. And, the Mediterranean resort architects completed their design in 7 months. And Disney said, "We like it, go forward with it." That was before Michael Eisner came in. Michael Eisner came in and said, "Hold up. I want to see how the Grand Floridian does. I want to go forward with this and let it run for a year and see if we need something else. I mean, just to see if this is going to be a success," which, needless to say, it was a success. It came out at the right time for Disney. Before you had the Grand Floridian, you would have had the Asian resort, and it would have been positioned as a backdrop to the Magic Kingdom like the other resorts in the area. Tomorrowland lines up with Contemporary. The Poly kind of lines up with Adventureland. The Asian Resort would have lined up also with Adventureland, but you have the Grand Floridian, which kind of lines up with the backdrop for the train station on Main Street, USA. Kind of, if you look far enough across the lake there. And being forward thinking, they had already named that roadway for this Asian resort. It was named Asian Way. And then with that resort not coming
No,
into
it
fruition.
wasn't. For real?
Yes, it was.
Wow.
Because now it's named Floridian Way.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Okay, no, and this was in like the 70s, 80s, so that wasn't even
but like,
remotely. Yeah.
like, if it came around to this time period and you had a road named Asian Way on your property,
Well, it's not like you named it Oriental Way.
still, Asian Way is
Right.
like, it's asking for comments.
It is. So they named it Floridian Way, which, was just replacing some signs and letting someone know, in the county that they changed.
Well,
their
all
names,
they
I guess,
all they
so.
need to know is let Reedy Creek know, because they are their own town. But if it's
Yeah,
its own
that's
town.
true.
Right. And that brings us up to when they started breaking ground on this particular resort. So, Adam?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit further, and I'm just going to mention the architects that were actually working with Disney Imagineering to get the project done. And I'm sure I'm going to kill the names of these, but we have Wimberley, Weisenand, Allison,
Whoa, hang on. What's his last name?
Weisenhand, Allison Tongangu.
It's not Wisenhunt?
No. Wihesenand.
So it's English. It's the American version of how to spell Wizard Hunt.
Yeah, I guarantee you somewhere our ancestors,
Probably.
There's a chance.
'cause you ain't got a last name close enough to mine not being part of me, so you're welcome.
So I just thought I was going to get heat for Tongangu.
I saw that. I'm like, I need to research that a little bit more, because are those last names?
Yeah, they're all last names.
Or is it
Usually-
a company name?
Oh, what?
Well, they were Wawatog, because there were two W's, but I guess one of the W's left, so now it's just Watog. The Watag. Or Wataga.
Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang?
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
I wish that was their byline underneath their logo. An architectural firm not to fuck with.
They were actually awarded the commission because of their past work, and they've done a lot of work with Disney before, in Euro Disney, and now, of course, Disneyland Paris, Tokyo Disneyland, and Hong Kong Disneyland. So the principals on the project were Jerry Allison, Don Fairweather, Mike Chung, Chuck Corwin, and senior designer Jim Loft as the project designer. And, of course, Michael Eisner is still credited, although he was active behind the scenes. He was never actually directly involved with the design process. So I don't know what exactly he did, but I'm sure he kind of just steered them in the direction that he kind of wanted them to go in. It started with the Disney Development Code providing a quote-unquote vision document to the architects. And from this document is where the design actually evolved. It's an ongoing process that had numerous designs and review meetings, and the ideas that Disney provided had to be adapted into the site and modified. So anytime they came with something, they wanted to make sure that that actually made it into this project. So it's kind of cool, kind of interesting that, like, you know, even though Disney kind of licensed this out to an architect company, they always had their hands and their fingers in it, trying to make it exactly what they wanted it to be. There was 40 acres actually set aside for the Asian resort that was kind of just sitting there. And I remember before, because I'm older than dirt, that when I first started going, the Grand Floridian wasn't built yet. It wasn't there. The monorail was there, the Poly was there, and the Contemporary was there, but Grand Floridian wasn't even a thought. But they did run into some struggles, because even though they did start some of the prep work for the Asian resort, Glen was still very wet and swampy, and of course that's typical for Florida, but it's still going to create some construction and possibly sinkhole issues for the resort. So it actually required thousands of cubic yards of fill that had to be carefully applied in layers so that the resort actually won't sink down. So they actually kind of had to come up with a way to cover a sinkhole. They also, some of the construction, they ran into the monorail issue. Like, now think about, like, when you think of construction, you think of, like, giant machinery, like pile drivers, all this other stuff. This is probably why we do not have the monorail connecting to the newer resort. Because this monorail existed while they were building this resort. So not only are you having to worry about just natural shake and, like, this is swampland, but now you have to worry about, okay, we have to make sure not to destroy the structure that's already built for this monorail.
I think also, to piggyback on that, is now you have the logistics of getting your heavy equipment in the less direct route, because maybe you can't just, maybe it won't fit underneath the monorail, so you can start pouring your foundation and stuff like that.
And you have to connect to the monorail because it's a monorail resort.
Yeah, that I hadn't thought about that, Adam, but yeah, you're probably on as to why there aren't any other. Well, now they got gondolas.
That's why we got gondolas.
Drive underneath them.
Well, I mean, they always could have connected after, but this was probably, we still want this resort here. Well, now we have to retrofit, kind of.
Yeah.
And that was another kind of problem that they kind of fell into, because you have this Victorian resort and a monorail.
It's a Victorian monorail.
But it's not, I mean, we all know the monorail looks super futuristic, and we know that, like, just from seeing it. But now we're looking at this whole, okay, what do we do now that it's a Victorian resort? How are we going to make this work? The only way that they came up with making it work was actually making the station look Victorian. And if you really look at it, you can't really see the monorail from inside the main building.
Oh, well, you can't. That's true.
Once you're inside that building, the actual main building is set further enough away from that monorail that unless you're on that second story going out to it, you're not going to see it.
That's right.
That's true. Even if you're walking underneath it, you're really hard pressed to pick out the beam. They disguised it very well with that resort.
They did it.
Who knew you could fucking hide a monorail?
Well, it's not really. It's hidden in plain sight kind of situation when you think about it.
Yeah, because you don't. Yeah, and then I think at this point people are just used to seeing it, so it's like.
And then most people don't even think about it at that point.
Well, actually, they also ran some other problems with the actual construction, because the actual buildings that this hotel, that Grand Floridian is based off of, were actually constructed from wood. Makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, wood is not going to stand up to Central Florida weather too well. So the challenge was at this point as well was to make something not constructed out of wood but look like it was wood. So they utilized a lot of aluminum siding, and aluminum siding pieces not longer than 12 feet long to make it equal to that wood length.
Oh. Damn you Imagineers.
No, it's not even the Imagineers. This might have been I don't know who took responsibility for it, but they wanted to get that to the point. So the aluminum siding is not longer than 12 feet long. Epoxy paint and, some various other Disney Imagineer materials to make this look real. Some actual use was used in the areas where it could get close and actually touch it, though. So, and it was built to match the station size of the illuminated siding. So everything matches. Even if you can touch it, that part might be wood, but the aluminum siding was made to match that wood grain. Just pretty, they put a lot of, people always comment about how much work and thought they put into their theme parks. They put the exact same kind of work and thought into the hotels, which I think is pretty awesome. So now many people see the Grand Floridian and they think of the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, because it's very, very similar. But the resort is actually influenced by another of other renowned resort hotels. So you're going to have the Del Coronado, the Mount Washington Resort in New Hampshire had a somewhat of an entrance, and also the Grand Hotel on Mackinac Island in Michigan.
Rachel Barnes is going to be mad at you.
I know she's going to be mad at me.
She's very
love
mad.
you, Rachel. Too many C's in Michigan.
Michigan.
Well, you might as well fuck it all up if you're gonna fuck it up.
All right, nope.
Up there in
Some
the
people will get that joke
I know.
if you listen to another podcast, and that's all I'm going to say. Also, the Bellevue, Baltimore, and Clearwater, Florida, and some Victoria houses and buildings in San Francisco. So the Del Coronado was chosen for its overall appearance, but lacked the good detailing and the actual effects that they actually wanted to put into it. The thing about the Grand Floridian is that it's not historically correct, and that was actually a decision that was made because they wanted more of a feeling of fantasy and escapism. So, believe it or not, the original plans, if you really walk into a 19th century, like tassel trim, like whole hotel, you're going to get this very extremely stuffy feeling. And we all thought it was stuffy when we walk in there for Disney. But they actually dumbed that down a little bit and actually taken a lot of the stuffiness out of it so that it's more neo-Victorian than like true Victorian. And it's just, it's all those little things that make it a little more welcoming. Because if you went into a true Victorian hotel, you think you're uncomfortable. Here, a real upscale Victorian hotel, you're going to feel like you're standing out like a sore thumb.
So when you say stuffy, you mean as far as it's decor?
It's decor. It's the grand birdcage.
Feel out of place.
Formality. It's very formal.
Yes. Like very
Okay.
like a true Victorian house when you walk into is extremely formal. Like all the colors have to be a certain color, everything has to be faced a certain way. They try to like mute it with some of the colors that they used for the chairs, for the drapery. They added more pastels in instead of the harsh reds and whites and strict golds and everything like that, just to soften up the look and soften up the feel a little bit, because the other way was way too cold for Disney. And like everybody who walks in here the first time when they're on that first Disney vacation is like, first thought is, I can't afford to stay here. Second thought is, I don't know if I'm comfortable here. So now imagine if they didn't take those steps to make it a little bit more welcoming, what that would feel like.
Yeah, folks would go to a different resort.
And now we're kind of getting into the interior part and what's actually inside this grand lobby. So Tim has this part for the shops and some of the dining that we can get to.
Food and drinks.
I'm hungry.
The Grand Floridian has probably some of the most widest range of food options that you can ask for. From your basic pool bar menu all the way up to their flagship restaurant, Victoria and Albert's.
All right, Tim, you just hurt my heart.
What?
We spent a lot of time at that pool bar.
We did.
Basic pool bar?
Well, they're basic pool bars, but... And this is probably the first time we've ever spent a good amount of time at a pool and at a pool bar, which was the Beaches pool bar at the quiet pool.
Not so quiet.
Not when we were
Not
there.
when we were there. So we have the Courtyard pool bar, which is at the main pool. They have the similar menu to the Beaches pool bars. Your standard hot dog, chicken fingers, turkey sandwiches, beer, mixed drinks. We stayed with the poolside iced tea, which had all the alcohols and a splash of Coke. It was basically pretty much a Long Island iced tea, but our server and our bartender was very heavy-handed with those.
Mm-hmm.
As we were waiting for the Wizard Hunts and the Namdoogs to show up, we kind of got a little lit on those.
You guys had commandeered two?
Yes.
Little bitty
two of those sun chairs with the sun couches with the canopies.
Yeah.
We did good. We know you guys were coming. We didn't stay there long after, but we knew you guys were coming.
Yeah, no, it was perfect. I love it when shooters take places over. It's like the greatest game of Risk.
It is. Well, we were eating fudge covered Nutter Butters and drinking these poolside iced teas.
No, y'all were eating fudge-covered Nutter Butters. I was just drinking.
And they were melted, obviously, because it was hot. So let's move on to some of the quick service options. You have the Grand Floridian Cafe, which does breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's an ambiance of Victorian manner, serving up American classics in an English countryside. We've never eaten there. I don't know that we ever will.
Where was this?
The Grand Floridian Cafe.
Isn't that where we ate breakfast?
No, that was at Gasparilla's.
Okay, never mind then. Next.
You have the Garden View Tea Room, which if you have children and you have girl children, you're going to take them there. They're going to dress up and have tea parties.
I think those are just called girls.
Girl children.
I don't know. I don't have kids, so I don't know what they're called.
Do you have the girl?
Can you not take a boy to a tea party
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
You can, but
with a bow tie?
historically speaking, the girls are going to be the ones that they want to go to the tea parties.
I like eating in tea.
I like crumpets and tea.
Crumpet this.
Oh.
So then
Oh.
we have Gasparilla Island
Fucking
Grill.
crumpet you, damn it.
I'll crumpet who I want to crumpet. Nobody can tell me who I want to crumpet.
Gasparilla Island Grill serves breakfast, lunch, dinner, and late night. They're open 24/7. So throughout the day, you have your typical food court options from Disney, your breakfast sandwiches, your hash browns, eggs, lunch pre-made sandwiches, burgers, pizzas. At late night, they have limited options of pre-made burgers, pre-made pizzas. If you're hungry in Grand Flo in the middle of the night, you can go to Gasparilla and get what you want. You also have, next up is 1900 Park Fair, which is their signature character dining. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. A different assortment of characters depending on which meal you're eating at. We've only done breakfast there, which is typically Winnie the Pooh characters and Alice in Wonderland characters. But for dinner and lunch, there's the Wicked Stepsisters, the Wicked Stepmothers, Cinderella pops up. Really good food, strawberry soup for breakfast.
That keeps making our list, but
It's
we never follow
it's worth
through.
it. It's worth it.
It's one of the most fun character breakfasts we've had.
Yes, Alice told me I was special because I was left-handed.
Oh,
Well, there's a story.
Story. So she'd come around, and the most interaction we've ever had at a character dining was here. And Alice had come around, and she was taking pictures with us. She's like, let's pretend we're having tea. So Adam, Kate, and Alice were holding the teacup with their right hand. I'm left-handed. So I was holding it with my left hand. Imaginary teacup. And she looked at me and she's like, what is he doing? And I was like, he's left-handed. He's like, oh, he's special. So
It was awesome.
she moved her hand to the left hand so I wouldn't be alone. It was pretty cool. So then we're moving on to some of the dinner options. For you have Narcoossee's, which is the one that's out on that pier, and it's mostly seafood. Citricos is the Mediterranean American inspired cuisine. We've eaten there. It's pretty good. It's Citricos is signature, right?
It is signature. Most of the restaurants in the Grand Floridian are signature and up, except for the first one you mentioned.
1900 is not signature.
1900's not signature, and the other one.
Well, Gasparilla's is
Gasparilla.
quick
Well-
serve.
Oh, Gasparillas quick serve?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I'm sorry. No, the cafe. Is the cafe sit down?
Grand Floridian Cafe is also quick serve.
Oh, okay. I thought it was. I'm sorry. My bad.
And that leaves Victoria and Albert's.
Which is signature plus.
Plus. we had the opportunity to dine here this past trip, and if you can swing it, it is well worth it. It's amazing. If you want to feel pampered and ultimately bougie, get yourself to Victoria and Albert's.
I just want to say one thing before you continue on. I never felt uncomfortable at Victoria and Albert.
Right.
And I just want to take that kind of thing and just mention, because you mentioned the bougie bar. And I think it turns a lot of people off when you say it's going to be very stuffy. It's going to be every... No,
It wasn't stuffy at all.
But that's it. But when you say bougie and you think of an experience like that, yes, price is a thing. It's not cheap, and I won't even pretend to be cheap. But it's not. It's still Disney. You're still allowed to have fun. We had a blast at our table. We had a blast with the company that we were with. And I think that's the most important part. They don't really go out of... Like, you think of a stuffy restaurant sometimes, and you get the small bite, and they make you feel uncomfortable. They were super approachable and super nice throughout the whole experience.
And I think that's how most people see the whole resort. Is it's stuffy, and that's how we used to see it.
But now we're old.
We're old. We might be bougie. We're those guys that get off my lawn. I totally enjoyed this last trip staying at the Grand Floridian. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably up there. It's definitely in the top 3 resorts for me now.
It was my favorite. So far, 1-bedroom I've seen.
It's the only other 1-bedroom was at Bay Lake.
No, but even like we've done tours.
Yeah.
We've seen the Animal Kingdom 1 villa. We've seen a bunch of one bedrooms,
yeah.
But oh my god, the Grand Floridian was amazing.
I would want to live there year round in a Grand Floridian 1-bedroom villa. Just saying. So I saved this one because it's kind of the point of this whole show was Meisner's was just replaced by the Enchanted Rose Lounge.
I'm sorry, their food here everything about this says yes to me, and I don't want to admit that.
It does. And I'm gonna say I was totally against this when they first was like, why do a Beauty and the Beast themed lounge in Grand Floridian? Because Beauty and the Beast is French. Slightly. And Grand Floridian is English at best, Floridian at worst, which neither one says French.
And if I'm not mistaken, aren't they kind of going for more of the live action
Yes, you are
kind of look as opposed to the animated, which that's a first for anything Disney, because they everything else they always do is, back to the original animated version with a lot of their stuff. So, listen, okay, the menu, we like the menu. I like the menu. I don't like it here. But that's just me.
I have to check it out before I make a comment.
I'm going to check it out. I've heard good things so far from people that have already checked it out.
And I know there's no Parisian resort, so you don't really have any place to put
I mean, the closest Parisian resort just opened up, and that would be the Riviera. I think that would be the closest that we're going to get to a Parisian resort at this point.
Yeah.
It's definitely European feeling in there, and that's not saying it's anything bad. It's just it feels very European. It feels very Parisian. If you've hung out, if you've seen the demo rooms, I guess you would call them. But if you take the tour through the DVC and you actually see those rooms, they remind me of European rooms.
They remind me of an IKEA display.
Which, by the way, it's the 73rd birthday for IKEA today. So there's that.
Happy birthday,
Yay.
IKEA!
Well, I just mean it's real. The pictures I saw were all very modern, I guess. Or maybe I'm getting it confused with Reflections. Maybe.
Possibly.
Hey, you know what though? We're not here to talk about me. Let's talk about Meisner's, Tim.
Well, Meisner's is no more.
Or not Meisner's.
The Rose. The Rose? No.
Enchanted Rose.
Enchanted Rose.
Which is loosely based on the library from the Beast Castle. I'm gonna reserve judgment until we go there and check it out. But I'm optimistic.
Some of the drinks sound amazing to me. There's a lot of gin drinks, and I love gin. So
that's the theme with the turn of the century, post-prohibition drinks were a lot of gin based because that was what could be easily made at the time.
It didn't have to age necessarily.
And those are your food and drink options.
Let's shop.
Piggybacking on the whole Enchanted Rose thing, they took over one of my favorite shops on property to expand Meisner's into the Enchanted Rose, which was Colonel Porter's, which was the men's shop at the Grand Floridian. You could get anything from golf attire to ties to dress clothes if you forgot to bring some if you're having signature dining. But they closed it down, and we're stuck in a little corner now at Sandy Cove.
Well, I mean, the only thing I can say about that is that at the marketplace in Disney Springs, they have the what the hell's the name of that store? The high-end men's clothing.
Men's Warehouse.
No.
Dillard's.
No, it's that special brand that they came out. Disney came out with a special men's line.
28 in Maine?
28 in Main store that a lot of the stuff that they sold in that store was 28 in Main, and you can get that still in Disney Springs.
Well, no, most of the stuff they sold at Colonel Porter's was Vineyard Vines.
Okay. But, I mean, you could find these clothes still on property if you look.
And you can find Vineyard Vines anywhere, but it's just nice to go into a shop, because most of the shops, especially in Grand Floridian, catered to women. Women's clothes, women's bathing suits, perfumes, And you have Basin White, which is all the soaps and bubble baths and
Bath bombs.
Bath bombs galore. Literally, when you walk past this door, the front window, all you see is these round balls of bath bomby goodness.
Well, you also have the soaps the cut soaps, because they have those logs.
Yep, you can get your soap cut for you right there.
They have actually a log of soap.
You got a log of soap.
Soap log. Stephanie got a bath bomb there, several of them for gifts, but she used one while we were still staying there, and the tub looked like there had been an autopsy conducted in it.
Oh!
Because it kind of, the color is all like sediment, and it clings to the side of the bathtub. It was frightening when I went into the bathroom.
And this is why you only use bath bombs on vacation, so you don't have to clean the shit up.
Yep.
Is that all that you got for the shop?
Well, then we got Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo!
So if you want to have your kids done up in princess costumes, you can get your hair done, your makeup did, your nails colored, and all your accessories done.
I want accessories done.
And this is new for the Grand Floridian, isn't it?
It's relatively new. I'll go into what I found out when we get to the spa.
And there's several packages you can get. I won't go into details, but there's different levels you can spend on your kid and get her did up like a princess.
Like a bibbidi bobbidi action.
Like a bippity boppity boop. Or bump.
Or boop.
I don't. Is the bump still a thing anymore?
It probably is.
The hairstyle,
Bump it.
the little bump.
Let's all do the bump.
It's just one of those hairstyles when you just can't get the hair to do what you want to.
You just throw it over
bump
a bump.
Throw it over a bump.
Yep.
We talked about the pool bar, but we didn't talk about the pools. Do you have a second to talk about the pools?
Well, there's two pools. You have a courtyard pool, which is the main pool. It's the quote-unquote big pool.
Now, the big pool, in this case, actually has the saunas, or the whirlpools, whereas the quiet pool has the slide, but no whirlpool.
Which is weird,
kind of weird.
While we were waiting for you guys, we did go over to the courtyard pool and go in the hot tub, which is a big hot tub. It was bigger than the one at Bay Lake. And then we left there and went back to the other pool, which is the DVC, quote-unquote DVC pool, which is zero entry pool. It has a slide. It's right next to the beach. That's also where the cabanas are located, too. So if you're going to get a cabana, it's going to be over at the quiet pool. But that slide was a lot of fun.
The only problem I had with that slide, it was bumpy.
It was bumpy.
It was ribbed for your pleasure.
It was ribbed, yeah.
No,
Not for your pleasure.
And I don't think it was for
your
anybody's
torture.
pleasure. That shit hurt.
But
not a fan.
It also has a waterfall, which you can get the backside of water outside of the Jungle Cruise.
This is very true.
Is it like a grotto?
No, it wasn't really a grotto, because it was just the waterfall came over the rock formation that covered the slide, and there was just like a tiny walkway in between the rock formation and the pool. So it wasn't really a grotto.
So you could remake the scene from Jurassic Park 2. When the T-Rex comes through the waterfall. And
if you can bring a T-Rex into the beach pool at Grand Floridian, yeah, probably.
They have them inflatable costumes.
Yeah, but I can picture that not going well when you get that in water.
I can picture it being funny because it tries to keep you afloat, and you can't
Well,
move.
All I'm picturing is it on its side and
the
kind of like
deepest-
side paneling and spinning around in a circle.
The deepest
right now.
part of that pool was like 4 foot 8 inches, so
It was a nice pool.
I enjoyed that pool a lot. It was.
I enjoyed hanging out in the zero entry area and just kind of sitting on the ground and like it was really comfy.
Cool.
I was also kind of drunk.
Yes.
Yeah, and you couldn't bring your drink into the zero entry area. You had to keep it on your little chair with your canopy.
Well, that was the little chair we took over. They have regular chairs too without the canopy.
We started at, but once the pool bar opened up, we're like, let's move over here. It's closer.
Yes. You know, you gotta be bar adjacent, and they actually did have a waiter that came around to the stations, and you could order directly from the wait staff as well.
Yeah.
Which is kind of convenient.
Very.
Almost like being on a cruise, but I think the prices were actually cheaper at the Grand Floridian. But speaking of pools and stuff, I'm going to take you over to Senses. And Senses, for those who don't know, is the spa. There are 2 locations. One's at the Grand Floridian. The other one is at the Saratoga Springs. This one is considerably smaller than the one at Saratoga Springs. Some major differences that I found, because I have been to both at this point, is that the waiting room or the waiting area where you wait to get brought to get your treatment is not unisex in this one. And it's a lot smaller in the men's area. I can't speak for the women's area, but the unisex lobby, pretty much the waiting area for the women, in Saratoga, is a little bit nicer in my opinion. Just more spread out. It seems more relaxing to me. The insides are kind of similar. The rooms looked kind of the same, and you can get any kind of treatment here, from your sweetest massage to a facial to get your nails did. You can get a pedicure. You can get a haircut. Full works of any kind of spa treatment that you can almost think of. Some things that we usually, at least I forget to go over. Robes and slippers are actually provided for you when you're actually at a spa. Some light snacks are available. If you get a treatment done, you are treated to an alcoholic beverage or non-alcoholic beverage, either champagne, beer, soda, coffee, whatever you'd like. You can actually go back the day of your treatment if you just want to hang out in the spa area.
So it's like kind of like an all-day pass.
Pretty much. You don't get another treatment if you want to pay for it.
But you can go back and hang out and.
But you can use the steam room, which is a lavender steam room, I want to say. You can use the hot tub, and you can use the gravity chairs. It's also attached to a full-service gym, which is actually split with the poly. So this is the gym you would use if you wanted to exercise or you didn't feel like you did enough walking on your vacation. And you felt like you never know.
Bruh, do you even lift, bruh?
If you are more comfortable for guys or girls, you can choose the kind of masseuse you have or the kind of person giving you treatment. If you're more comfortable with a male masseuse, you can request a male masseuse. You just need to let them know at the time of your booking. That's really all I have. If you do schedule 2 together, we recommend that you schedule a massage before your facial, body treatment, or nail service, just for the simple reason that you don't want to get all that stuff. You're already relaxed. You don't want to try to get your nails did at that point. After that. No, before that. It's just, you get your nails did, you're going to make you lie down, you're going to get it all messy, you're going to get your hair did. It's not going to work. The other stupid thing that most people forget is anytime you get a massage, and I don't care where you go, whether it's Grand Floridian, whether it's by your home, drink plenty of fluids.
Yep.
Kind of break up all the stuff that's going on in your body when you get a massage or you get a treatment like this. Alcohol is not considered a fluid in this situation. You will get drunk very quickly if you are not careful.
So that's a pro tip.
Just a tip. It's just a tip.
It's just a tip.
It's
just a tip.
It's amateur tip.
The other thing is that the 20% gratuity we automatically apply to all spa treatments and services. So if you feel like tipping your masseuse, feel free, but it's already, and when you check out, when you paying your bill, it's already applied.
And that's not included in the listed fee, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
But if you have DVC annual pass, there are discounts available.
Oh.
I am kind of thinking, because I have had a massage here, that the next time I might get a beard trim, because they do that here.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a $15 extra charge, so You know what?
Seems
Why
worth it
not?
for $15.
I think in January I might do some artist shavings because listen, they made the Trossel look pretty.
Wow.
They can make me look pretty too.
Now,
Love
I
you, Chris.
don't know. You ain't right. Now, I don't know if they offer this at Saratoga, but I can't picture they don't. But they have character couture packages. And this is a regal makeover designed for guests of all ages, where Bippity Boppity Boutique is strictly for kids. If you're an adult and you want to get this done, this is the place to do it. So you have a storybook style, which is a classic character-inspired hairstyle. You can get a magical makeover, which is a classic character-inspired hairstyle and makeup. Or you can get a timeless transformation, which is a classic character-inspired hairstyle, makeup, and nails. I don't know how much any of this cost. None of it is listed.
Well, if you have to ask.
You probably can't afford it.
It's the Grand Floridian, so.
Stephanie was mentioning this the other day, and they even have an option where they'll come to your room and do you up there.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh.
That's like some J-Lo level shit right there.
Yeah,
That
that's
is.
you
I
know,
don't
because
even want to know how much it is.
if you're getting ready to go, like, you know, to a Dapper Day type of thing, and you may not want to run around in your formal wear to get that done. You can get dressed in your room and then get ready there and go right to the event. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
Or maybe you just want to lay around naked and have someone put makeup on you.
That's hot.
That, puts the lotion on the hands, I guess.
Well, I guess it puts the sushi on the body, and you can be like it's able.
Wasn't that an episode of Red Shoe Diaries?
I think so. The massage that I usually get is a custom massage. And the reason why I choose that is because I never know what part of my body is going to hurt the most. And this way they kind of focus and they'll find those spots for you and loosen that up and pound those out. But me personally, if I had to choose, I would choose Saratoga. It seemed very tight in Grand Floridian, and it seemed almost a little claustrophobic. When we were there the last time in Grand Floridian, there was a kid getting like all done up as a character, and the mother was trying to pay, and everything was going on, and it seemed very hectic in the lobby, and it was the last thing I kind of needed after a relaxing massage.
Yeah, I can see that. I can hear that in my head. And
I've heard a lot of people say that the Saratoga spa is better.
I mean, it might be out of the way depending on where you're staying at, but I would recommend Saratoga over Grand Flo. And speaking of things that are found in Saratoga and not every place else, Mikey has some notes on the DVC in the Grand Floridian Resort. So take it away, Mikey.
So yeah, back in 2013, in October, the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and teeny tiny spa, now that I've learned from Adam, opened with 147 rooms, rooms, villas, and studios. And it became the 12th Disney Vacation Club property. Now, keeping with the charm of and Victorian elegance of the main building, the villas deliver a bit more of a premium experience. They're going to be located to the right side of the main building as you're walking up to it, and there is a covered walkway that kind of connects them. It's got really, really nice, landscape, and it's manicured really well. It looks nice. It does take you, along the way. You'll pass the beach pool that Tim was talking about. I think that's where we saw you guys.
Yep.
You can walk right into it, and the pool kind of overlooks Seven Seas Lagoon, and you can obviously see all that from the walkway. Once you get inside the DVC building, you got the welcome desk to the one side, but you got this really, I know we keep talking about stuffiness and what have you, and the DVC lobby is quite a bit smaller than the main entrance to the resort, but it's a very grand looking lobby. It still keeps with that theme of, vacationers from the late 1800s, early 1900s established Florida kind of as their wintertime sanctuary during the golden age of travel, and that's basically the best way to kind of describe what you see there. But it's balanced with some little sprinkles of Disney magic, mostly in the form of nods to Mary Poppins, which you can find in the lobby and then in the guest rooms. So center stage in the lobby, you've got this great fountain. It's a bronze fountain that features the maitre d' penguins from the film, and they're kind of standing on each other and hanging off the edge of the fountain, and it's really cute. It's real whimsical.
I just have to say one thing. Coming back drunk, this is a trip hazard.
Yeah, it is, because it's...
Because you want to kind of go straight through to your room, which is directly on the other side of the fountain, but you got to go around it. But
you do.
I mean, we saw kids playing in the fountain. I mean...
Yeah, so it's not that stuffy.
It's not that stuffy.
No, it's not at all.
And, of course, maybe they were playing in the fountain. Maybe they were trying to get enough money to buy a Dole Whip from the change that gets thrown in there, Tim. You never know. But any change thrown in there does get donated to local charities.
Yes. Can we talk about my favorite part of the lobby?
I think I know what it is. What's that, Tim?
The free coffee.
No,
the little bitty tiny couches.
Yep. The little couches that we sat in.
Yes, it does have, and I've actually got notes on that coming up next. So yeah, when you get into the lobby, you'll find overstuffed chairs and couches that make a great spot to sit and enjoy a cup of coffee. They do have complimentary coffee service in the lobby from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then off to the side of that's this small little seating area that will hold 3 kids, and it will poorly hold 3 grown-ass men. And they can sit there in front of this TV to watch a little Disney entertainment while you enjoy your little cup of coffee to wind down or to get ready to go to the parks. It's like one TV with this little bitty 3-person couch, I think is what it was. I don't know. It was small. It was small.
It was really small.
Which makes sense because they got the small sink up at the Contemporary. And just sometimes things in Disney are just small.
Forced perspective.
Yeah, forced perspective. It just makes you feel bigger. Now, another cool thing of decor they got in the lobby area is they've got some carousel horses. And one of them is actually a replica of a horse in Disneyland called Jingles, which is one of the most ornately decorated horse on the King Arthur's carousel down there, and they got like a little sister to it, set up, and it's behind glass and everything. I looked at it. It's really cool. It's nice. It's artistic.
Well, what was that Lee and Disney's favorite horse on?
It was.
Yes.
The King Arthur carousel. Now
you get away from that, you get to the actual theming of the inside rooms of the studios and the villas, and it's. Here's where I struggle with this resort, because on the outside it is Victorian area beachfront, luxury. The inside, now we've got this French bar being put in there at the Enchanted Rose, and then you get to the DVC and things are somewhere between Mary Poppins, like we've mentioned, which some of the interior theming of the rooms and stuff will have nods and decor, harkening back to Mary Poppins. And then some of it is Dumbo, so there's a little bit of a
little disconnect.
Yeah, there's an identity complex with what's going on. I get the Dumbo because it starts off in Florida, so I get that. The Mary Poppins because the Victorian era. I get that. Still struggling with the Beauty and the Beast, but that's just me. So yeah, you've got nods to Dumbo and Mary Poppins. All the rooms, whether they're a villa or whether they're a studio, will have nice granite countertops and crown molding, and you should have mirrored televisions in the bathrooms, which is a thing, I guess. And then flat screen TVs, Blu-ray players, just kind of what you'd expect in a DVC room. But things kind of, once you start getting into the bigger rooms, you start getting more shit. The deluxe.
Is that how that normally works?
That's how that works. Your studios are going to be around 370 square feet. You're going to get a queen bed, a sleeper sofa. I think you got a bunk bed, kitchenette, mini fridge, a wet bar, and a porch/balcony. You can go up to the one-bedroom villa, which is going to get you 844 square feet. So it more than doubles. That's going to get you a bigger bed. Yes, Tim?
Can we make an aside about this one-bedroom villa?
Let me break it down, and then we can go aside on it, okay? You get the king bed, you get the queen sleeper, you get the bunk bed, you still get the, you should have, I'm afraid my notes may be wrong now that you're making an aside, but you got like a kitchen area, a dishwasher, fridge, stove, oven, so you got like a full kitchen basically, washer and dryer, okay, and walk-in shower. Okay,
that
hang
was
on.
my aside.
You got, there's like a freestanding jacuzzi. Was there a jacuzzi tub?
Yep.
And then again, quote unquote, private porch or balcony. So, tell me of this walk-in shower, Tim.
Well, it's not so much as a walk-in shower, more like a 12-person orgy shower.
Oh, a grotto. Now we've got a grotto.
Now we got a grotto, yes. This thing was bigger than our bathroom in our house. Our whole bathroom could fit inside this shower.
Dude, a whole bath, it's almost the size of a walk-in closet.
Have you ever been in a shower where you can move and not get wet? Like you can move like a foot and not get wet?
I have. When I was in Houston a couple years ago, that swanky joint had a shower like that. But it had two nozzles, one on the wall and one on the overhead, so I could turn.
Yeah, that's what this was.
Yeah.
Oh no, you didn't have to turn. You can actually walk away from the shower.
No. I mean, I could turn off the overhead.
We could probably park our Nissan in that shower.
That's impressive.
It was a big shower. It had a big fuck bench.
Fair enough. That's what
the weirdest part, though, it had the glass door on one side of it, and when you got out of the shower and you opened up the glass door, directly in front of you was the door had a mirror on it. So it was kind of off-putting. It's like, who is that? Oh, that's me.
That's me through that fogged-up mirror. But, when you get out of the shower, you're warm, things have stretched. Maybe that's when you want to see yourself most.
But it is kind of weird, though, because that part of the bathroom was the biggest part of the bathroom where the toilet was and the two sinks.
But, I mean, two people can bathe at the same time, because the way it was set up was that you had the shower and the toilet in one room, and then there was a dividing door that separated the bathtub with the buttons and another sink with another, like a full sink. So and that had a separate two doors that you can close too. So technically two people can be kind of getting ready at the same time if one of you wants to take a long bath. And also, I don't know if you can use a bath bomb in the jacuzzi, but I think I need to try that out next time.
I wouldn't recommend
My
running
news. My news. We didn't use the tub. Nobody used the tub. We just took showers.
Stephanie loves a tub.
But it was a big bathroom.
Yeah, well, I mean, 844 square feet is what I'm showing on my notes. So you've probably got a quarter of that is your bathroom.
A good
chunk
portion
of it
is your bathroom.
That room was bigger than our first apartment.
Oh my God, yes. Without a doubt,
Without a doubt.
Well, still, there's only one place.
Let me put it to you this way: you walk into this one bedroom, and there's a foyer. It divides the whole. It was crazy.
So I mean, that's excellent use of your space. Then, well, maybe not to have that much. You probably could have put another bedroom in there if you'd have gone with just like regular.
No,
it wasn't that big. But the table, the dining room kitchen table, was like a banquette because it had a bench and there was tables on the other side. It was us, Matt, the Trossels, and Josh Wozni and Chris's cousin. We all before we started doing up our costumes for Not So Scary, we sat around that table and ate our lunch. Trossels brought us lunch from Publix. Publix subs, one of the best.
I'm sorry, you mean the shoemakers, right?
Yeah, the shoemakers.
Because they were shoemakers at that point.
The still
Well,
shoemakers.
Lauren's eating for 3, so.
But that's how comfortable this room was. That this table sat more than what the room could technically hold.
It's impressive.
And it didn't ever feel crowded
didn't.
with all those people in there, which was weird.
It was very weird.
Because if I had that many people in the first apartment we lived in, it felt crowded.
And we did have that many people in the first one. We lived in it, and it felt crowded.
Well, maybe you should have gone with the 2-bedroom. That would have got you more than...
I don't got that kind of points.
Yeah, we don't.
2-bedroom will get you 1,230 square feet. Again,
Which is bigger than our house. But that's the size.
Yeah, that's just bigger than this house
yeah,
right now.
That's the size of my house. You get a king-size bed, queen-size bed, again with the sofa, the bunk bed, and then everything else, the refrigerator, and blah, 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 blah. Or you can just cash all your points in and get the 3-bedroom Grand Villa, which is more than twice the size of the 2-bedroom villa at 2,800 square feet. And you have rooms everywhere. More bathrooms than you have bedrooms. A dining room table that you could fit the entire cast of the last Avengers movie around.
And on.
And on, and
Yes.
on.
A theater room that you can sleep in.
Well, that's almost like another bedroom.
It was
It
yeah,
was
it was the size of
well,
a bed.
yeah, it can't be technically considered a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet, but it was pull-out couch. Somebody slept there.
It was decent as far as like a single bedroom would have gone, but I feel like for a theater room it was small.
Yeah, I agree.
And again, you get the quote-unquote private porch or balcony that's not super private because every bedroom had looks out on it, and it's just anybody can go out on that balcony at any point.
Yeah.
From like
And-
3 different
Well,
directions.
it's private for the suite. When you think about the 3-bedroom suite, it's private for that suite.
Yeah,
and that's what they
I
made.
guess.
For the entire room, it's private.
And you can totally high-five people walking on the sidewalk out in front of you.
Yes, well, that was because
Which was great
we
for
got a
people
first
walking.
floor.
It was people watching.
Oh yeah, it's perfect.
watching.
It's really great
Great for people
for the electrical water pageant watching.
Yes, without a doubt.
And there was some impromptu karaoke from people walking by.
Yes.
All right. So now I have to ask a question for you guys because we wrapped up the rooms and pretty much everything, and we stayed at a Grand Floridian now, and we stayed at a Bay Lake Tower. Which did you prefer?
I preferred Bay Lake just because.
So did
I mean, there's no reason to put a Grand Villa on the first floor, ever anywhere.
All right. Besides that,
Well,
just take the room. Just take the room as
take
is.
the location out. Just take the location
If it
out.
was on the 3rd floor, would have changed it that much?
No, I still would have gone Bay Lake. Just, I liked the, just so much about it. It seemed like there was so much more room there.
For me, the great room, I guess you would call it.
Yeah. The sitting
Where it opened up to the 2 stories.
I love those huge windows.
But besides the huge window, it was a place to congregate.
Yeah.
It really felt, as big as that room was, it felt like it was a place that we all were at the same time.
Yep.
And we could have fun in the living room and everything and the dining room. It just felt more homey to me, and I don't know why that is.
There was more usable space in the Bay Lake Villa. Well, I'm totally grateful to be able to experience both of those. Bay Lake, hands down, was the better of the two. The kitchen was more user-friendly.
I mean, I don't know. I didn't use the kitchen in either one, so I can't say shit about that.
The
The kitchen was more open.
Which is
it was
more
more of an
user-friendly.
open. Well, no, it was more of an open floor plan in Bay Lake.
Yeah, and you could fit
I don't
more
know if it
than
was-
you could fit more than 2 people in that kitchen. If you had 2 people in the kitchen in the Grand
Oh, yeah,
Floridian,
no, you're right there.
you're like, get out. I need to move. Get out.
Okay. But why were? But and again, and that comes to, like, I guess, planning of a house or what have you. Everybody always congregates in the kitchen.
And that's what we did at Bay Lake. We couldn't do that at Grand Floridian because there wasn't enough
Oh,
room.
we tried.
We tried.
Oh, there was a
wasn't
bunch
enough
of us
room.
in there at one point.
There wasn't enough room. It was like, get out. I need to move.
There was
Get
more
out.
room in the shower.
That's yes.
The shower is bigger than the kitchen.
Well, I guess the only place to go at this point is to go, and to go you got to have transportation. Tim, what do you got on that?
Yeah, well, transportation. I mean, there's a plethora of transportation options at the Grand Floridian.
Ooh, a
Plethora. Obviously, the first one you get the monorail,
The hidden monorail.
the hidden monorail. When it works, when doors aren't falling off of it. You have your boat launches, which serves the Grand Floridian, and I think it's the Grand Floridian and Wilderness Lodge and Magic Kingdom.
And sometimes contemporary. And sometimes poly, depending on... which
No,
way
the
it's going.
contemporary is different. It's sometimes poly and sometimes
Oh, okay.
Wilderness Lodge. You also have your motorized boat rentals. You can rent a pontoon boat and hang out on Seven Seas Lagoon. You can rent one of those little, I don't know what the little boats are called.
Sea racers.
Sea racers. Yes, thank you.
I almost called them sea-doos, but I knew that was wrong.
You have your Pirates Adventure Cruise, which kids from 4 to 12 can set sail on a pirate adventure and find some hidden treasure.
I thought they moved at the contemporary.
It's here. You can still do it here too. There's also fishing excursions that you can take out of the Grand Flow, which we learned is only one boat that leaves out of the Grand Flow, which we do now. Every sheet up there is a fishing excursion. There'll be one in the next one too. And the pièce de résistance is the Grand One.
The yacht.
Yacht.
Yeah.
Yacht, which we had the pleasure of experiencing in April. It's Disney's 52-foot yacht that you can take out on a fireworks cruise, a wedding cruise, whatever cruise you want to do. It starts at, I think, $400 an hour, if I'm not mistaken. You can get food, drink options, a butler. It holds up to 17 people with a butler or 18 people without him.
You're gonna need them.
You're going to need him.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to need him, and it's a great time. If you get 17 of your closest friends to split the cost, it's worth it.
And you can BYOB.
No, you can't.
Okay.
You can pre-party, but the booze package is not that bad. It's not cost prohibitive. It was pretty reasonable for what we got.
Do you get to keep the
I think
leftovers?
the only thing we all kind of decided is that we would skip the foos and spend more on the booze.
Yeah, we'd skip the food and just do the booze. Because the food is like finger foods and it's like stuff you can get at Magic Kingdom fucking carts. Like cheese and crackers and...
I mean, the food was good.
It was okay.
But, I mean, it wasn't awful. But you don't eat, the stuff that was there, so... But, I mean, we enjoyed the food, but it just didn't make economical sense to continue with the food choices that we had.
The best part, I'm sure everybody's heard this story before, was turning the boat around to get fucking shot glasses.
Yes, there is.
Because they didn't have shot glasses on the boat.
But they had pickle juice.
They did
They
have
did have pickle
picklebacks.
juice because we had to. James had to specially request the pickle juice for picklebacks. most of the travel options for the Grand Floridian are aquatic based, since it is on Seven Seas Lagoon.
Makes sense. And naturally, you can get anywhere else from there using the buses or the minivans or lifts.
And if you're
Ubers,
having your wedding
Uber
there,
Ubers.
you can hire the horse-drawn carriage or the Cadillac that sits out front.
That is a sweet ride.
The 32 Cadillac.
That was pretty awesome.
That's nice. And then of course I look at it and I see kids climbing on it. I'm like, fucking get your bastards off that, would you?
Yeah.
So and you mentioned having a wedding there. I don't think we're going to go into too great of a detail about that, but it is kind of on property, I guess. Kind of. It's definitely
It is technically on Grand Floridian property.
It's definitely themed alongside Grand Floridian. There is the wedding pavilion. It's there. You can rent it through Events by Disney or Enchanted Weddings or whatever they call that. I'm not looking to get married, so I didn't really go down that rabbit hole at all. I don't have any details for you. Go find it out on yourself and then get back to us.
Well, we kind of thought about doing it for our 5th wedding anniversary. It was just this year. It was like It's really expensive.
Maybe the 10-year. We'll see. Maybe a select few cheaters would be invited. We'll see.
You can't do like a 10-year because Stephanie and I have done 10-year in Disney, and I didn't do anything like that.
Can we raffle off spots?
Sure, yeah, we'll have a fundraiser. Make a wish.
No, because I want presents, so fuck that. You ain't raffling off shit.
No, we can raffle them off. So we can raffle off.
No,
charity
I am
spots.
not raffling off shit. I want presents for my anniversary, yes.
He wants a squirrel.
I want a squallet.
Wallet.
Well, sounds like we are going to go listen to a guy talk about a Sasquatch next week. So we'd be remiss to have this discussion about the Grand Floridian Hotel without at least, and it's just where, again, I'm just touching on it because I couldn't find a hell of a lot about it, but without mentioning the orchestra, the Grand Floridian Society Orchestra that does perform there and has since 1988 when the resort opened. Basically, I would call it a jazz ensemble, and they're wearing costumes that are reminiscent and in character of like the Victorian era when big bands were all the rage, and at your luxurious hotels you'd find them performing in the lobbies. Originally, when they were performing, they only played ragtime mostly, but as times changed and guests' tastes changed, they found themselves playing more contemporary tunes and actually turned into more of a jazz troupe as opposed to a ragtime band. They are really known for their arrangements of popular Disney tunes, and they've got music for sale literally everywhere, like Amazon, iTunes. I think you can still buy CDs of them, but they've got a lot of albums out. And like if you go to their Facebook page, it's just that they have they alternate, members in the band. They don't all play every time that they're up there. But the list of current members and previous members is a mile long. There's just so many dudes have been in this group since '88. So I really can't, say much else about it. I didn't get a chance to hear them when we were there because when we were checking in, they weren't playing, obviously, because it was midday, and we didn't get a chance to hear them. I wish I would have. I love me some live music. I will say they have recently, I think, right now, are they upstairs and they've got a new spot coming up downstairs, or have they moved yet?
They're still downstairs.
No, as of today, we're recording on October 15th. They are now downstairs.
Okay.
Their stage opened up.
Well, they've been downstairs.
Well, the new stage opened up today adjacent to the front doors.
Okay. Well, so they've always loved interacting with guests when they come in, and they always love seeing you when new resort goers as they're arriving. So definitely worth checking out. I will mention, what the hell? Some assholes stole some of their costumes. Recently, they had a theft of some of their costumes getting stolen.
Yeah, we saw
what the fuck's going on in Disney now with their shit getting stolen right and left?
Theft.
Damn it.
Fucking ridiculous.
They must not have any video cameras. So for the most part, I guess, Grand Floridian, we dig it. The theming's good. The rooms were great. The shower apparently was fantastic. I'm still hung up on the former Meisners and having it turned into something out of the Beauty and the Beast movie. So I think we need to replace that with a real quick bar refurb. If you guys are down for that.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Adam, do you want to go first?
I can take it.
Take it. So take it all.
This is what I got. I'm going to call this a club lounge, capital A. And this is now going to be a lounge based around the Adventurers Club.
You can tie that in. You can absolutely tie that in.
I didn't see that coming. You can tie it in, but I didn't see that coming.
The time frame, it fits with everything about the Grand Floridian Resort. It just made the most sense to me. What I would love to do is bring back all the drinks from the Adventurers Club and all the specialty drinks that they had there. And what I would have to set us up with to keep with sort of like, you know, all those hotels back in the day had that library that you went to just relax, unwind, and so we can keep with the library theme with all the trophies and the history and all the stuff that they did. And this would be just the lounge where they would all go to hang out.
Should have made him go last.
Nope. He ain't gonna win this one, and I'm gonna do a pop-ups poll in this one because I think I'm gonna win this one.
No, poll's coming out. Poll's coming out.
Poll's coming out.
All right then. Well, then I'll let you go last,
Okay.
Tim, since you know you think you're the
Well,
ringer here.
I said that about last week's episode, and I didn't win either. I wouldn't either. So
Your poll's only been out for a day.
it was like 23 to 7.
There's still a chance.
There's always a chance.
Well, there's also a chance that Georgia's gonna win a national championship, and
Wow, shots fired.
All right, so my refurb, since you know we're talking about the 20s, there was a little bit of prohibition in the 20s, so I'm going with a bar. I'm calling it McCoy's, and it's named after the prohibition bootlegger Bill McCoy, who was most famous for being a rum runner and smuggling rum from the Bahamas into southern Florida. And you know, what I want to go with is I want the bar, you go in there and I want you to feel like you're on the deck of one of his rum boats. I want the floor to be dark and weathered wooden planks. I want the walls to be painted a nice sky blue and adorned with, like, you know, really rich wooden railings, just to kind of, you know, feel like you're still on you're on the boat, you know. So you got the wooden railings that go all the way around, blocking tackles, you know, hanging from the ceiling, and you know, posts, wooden columns going up. I want, you know, a lot of brass, copper, gas lights hanging on the walls, and antique maritime items, portholes, you know, round tables that are kind of inlaid that look like an old, you know, compass rose. I just want to have this really, you know, warm kind of antique vibe going on. And then my drinks menu there, I'm thinking I want to go with an extensive rum selection, obviously. And I want to feature some traditional Cuban and Bahamian mixed drinks. And the whiskey selection will feature rum cask finishes, as well as the standard Disney parks, you know, selections. And
Can I finish mine? I forgot to say something.
vote for me? Is that what you forgot to
Vote
say?
for Pedro.
Nope, I didn't say vote for me. I forgot to say something.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll cut it.
And every hour on the hour, we'll have Stephanie Weisenhunt singing the Adventurers Club theme song.
Stephanie who?
Hey, you know what? If she gets hired to work down there and be a cast member and perform that, we gone. We gone.
No, she can even record it. I don't care, but yeah.
No. It's got to be live. And it's got to be 3 pumpkins in. Congaloosh.
Sorry.
So that's what I would do. I'd go with something, and I'd call it McCoy's, and I'd stick with the whole prohibition rum running thing.
I love the whole idea about prohibition, but I'd want it to be more hidden.
Well,
Sort of like Enzo's.
right.
Where
No,
you'd have to,
I
like-
get that, but I wanted to go a different direction, I guess, with
I
more
get
of an
it.
actual history in southern Florida.
Fair
but
enough.
That's Tim. What are you hiding?
I'm not hiding anything. I'm flaunting my bouginess with this bar. Okay.
Oh boy.
I found a new love for the Grand Floridian through this last trip, and my new lounge is going to be called the 7 Grand.
Oh Jesus
Which-
Christ!
It's a
Jesus
double entendre
Christ.
because it's a play on the Seven Seas Lagoon and the original 7 lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Oh shit, that's really fucking cool.
And 7 grand is what you need to stay at this motherfucking place.
No.
So we're gonna have popular turn of the century drinks was during Prohibition, one of the main alcohols you can get is gin, because like I said before, it didn't need to be aged, so it's ready to go at a moment's notice. You're gonna have a gin Ricky, highball, the bee's knees, a Southside cocktail, and a lot of other gin-based drinks. There's gonna be a player piano playing versions of today's poppin' music, a la Westworld. Have you ever watched Westworld?
Nice.
Give me some of that Black Hole Sun.
Yep, that's all.
Yep.
That's, everybody goes to that song right
I know.
away every time you say Westworld.
I know.
We
Well,
have-
it's a great song anyway, but yeah.
The bar staff is going to be dressed in period attire with the striped shirts and the garters on the arms. There's going to be the Dapper Dans may come out and perform every once in a while. And obviously we have to make room for the Grand Floridian Orchestra, because right now they're kind of homeless.
They're squatting. They got squatters'
They're
rights
squatting.
going on in the
Yeah.
lobby.
I'm just gonna say Stephanie's gonna sing with the accompaniment of the orchestra.
This isn't Rent. Is she gonna accompany herself with a 10-gallon pickle drum?
No, stop with the teaming up. She's not even here to help you team up. She's in bed at like 5 tonight.
But that's my lounge.
And it's called 7 grand.
$7,000.
It definitely sounds fancy.
Expensive.
fancy.
It sounds expensive.
All right. Well, so yeah, we'll have a poll go up for, Adam's fun little
A Club Lounge.
A Club, McCoy's, my Rum Runners themed lounge, and then Tim with his not so speakeasy.
Pinky's out, bitches.
Yeah, Pinky's out at
Pinky's
the
out,
7 grand.
bitches.
Yeah, with his Bruno Mars the lounge. 24
I'm too
karat.
hot. Hot damn.
So yeah, be sure and head over to the Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/3sheets, so you can make sure you get voted in on that. If you're not a member there, you'll have to answer 3 questions. We have got a backlog of requests because folks aren't answering questions, or they're getting invited by other members who don't tell them they invited them. So, it's not just that simple. You can't just, sneak them in through the back door. You got to go 90 and we'll go 10. So they got to answer the questions. Yeah, we've got events coming up. I saw something new come out today, Mr. Adam Person.
Well, yes, there is some stuff planning, but first let's go with what's coming up really quick.
Okay.
So, there are going to be a few people down for Wine and Dine. If you're going down for Wine and Dine, we have our 3 sheets, the Mouse running group. Please make sure to join up, link up. There are a bunch of people coming. Not as many as we thought there would be, but there will be people down for Wine and Dine. Please meet up, take lots of pictures. We want to see all your posts. Also, we have Cheaters Getting Dopey. The official event night will be the Tuesday night before the races. And we are going to try to catch Illuminations together, or whatever the hell it's called now, because I don't remember. Epcot Forever. I remembered. So, we will be trying to catch at the Seven Seas Lagoon. A few of us have dinners at Takumi Tai, or Takumi Kite. I can't pronounce
Tawny
it.
Katane?
Yes, that too.
Okay.
She's going to be dancing on the car during
Sweet
Illuminations.
ass.
But a few of us have reservations there, so we'll probably be somewhere around the Japan Pavilion, so keep your eye on the page and the event page for that. Also in February, we have the Princess Races coming up, so a bunch of us will be down for that as well. And just announced today on the Facebook page, our November official sheet up. We are actually going to be down to try to catch some of the holiday decorations this time. Some events are being planned. They're in the hush-hush stage right now. But it looks like we're going to get something pretty fucking amazing going on. So if this is a sheet up that you do not want to miss, it's going to be crazy. It's only going to be for...
Well,
it's
you don't
only
want to
going
miss
to be for
any
a
of
short
them,
weekend. But there is an event that we are trying to plan that we haven't done anything like this yet. So keep your eyes peeled on the page.
And we've done a lot of shit.
We've done a lot of shit.
Yeah. And we keep escalating this shit, so I don't know what's going to happen in 2 or 3
We're going to have to build a 5th gate.
We're going to end up buying fucking Disney. We're going to buy Disney. We have to just buy Disney.
This is the one you want to go to. This is the one.
Now, I just want to jump in real quick. So what I'm gathering is if you don't want to have to run, November is the sheet up to go to.
November is not a running sheet up. That is correct. It is just going to be us hanging out for a weekend. Just keep your eye on that page.
The event page. Shit always pops up. There's even, mini stuff that happens that aren't...
We can't, according to Mikey rules, we can't officially call them a sheet up unless the host is present.
That's right. It's not an official. It's not a sanctioned sheet up. So,
but you are still a sheet up nonetheless, even though a host is not present. But please keep on making your own plans. Please keep on hanging out with each other. It warms our hearts when we see we created this group that y'all are getting together without us. So
it's Sheeters assembled, and that's what 3 Sheets Nation is. So
no doubt,
you don't have to have one of us to there to hold your hand and show you where the booze is. You can find it, and then take a picture of it and show us where it was. So then we'll find it next time.
Like a bunch of truffle hogs.
That's right.
Find the booze. Alcohol hogs. You find the booze.
If booze was mushrooms, I'd be a pig, I guess is what.
Oh no.
No? Okay.
Nope. Stop it. Be nice.
You already
are. Let's see here. I've already hit up on the social media, so blah blah something. Check that out. Nothing new at the Magical Meltdown since last week, except the gondolas, the Death Buckets shirts kind of took off because the gondolas couldn't stop. And I want to say,
you can't stop.
I made the mistake of tweeting that picture out and hashtagging it appropriately, and it kind of went halfway viral on like the Twitter and Disney pages.
It went viral.
And people
it didn't go halfway.
People are like, here's my new pass holder magnet, and part of me is like, well, okay, that's cool, and part of me is like, wait a second, because you can go to teepublic.com or magicalmeltdown.com, get to teepublic, and you can find round magnets, and I get credit for it if you buy that from there. I don't think they're the same size as your pass holder magnets, but they're authentic. So just saying, check it out, magicalmeltdown.com. That's where you'll find all the cool stuff from 3 Sheets, drinkware, t-shirts, coasters, who knows what else. No llamas. Don't believe the business cards.
Whatever else we can get our Bermudian to make.
Well,
pretty much.
Yeah. When he's home, he's busy.
He's really busy.
Okay. Well, I guess that now we are wrapping stuff up. Like quarterback on prom night. So let's hit up some closing remarks. Tim,
I've always kind of scoffed at this resort, and we've for the first time we've gone to Disney together, we've always eaten at Citrus. I always felt like, wow, I don't belong here. This is kind of I don't know, it's too stuffy. It's too, I don't want to say high class, but it was like not my style.
Okay.
But as we got older and we've frequented this resort more, and we've actually gotten to stay here, I'm actually warming up to the Grand Floridian style. I'm warming up to the Italian marble floors. I'm warming up to the wrought iron birdcage in the lobby.
That thick ass carpet when you leave your room and your fucking luggage won't want to roll on it because it's so thick and soft.
And the TV's in the mirror.
I know.
It's weird, and the remote's so delayed.
It's a wonderful resort. Yeah, it's weird, but it's a wonderful resort. It's, would I say spend your points on something bigger than a 1-bedroom? Maybe not, but definitely do a 1-bedroom at the Grand Flo. It's an amazing room. It's an amazing resort. I'd do it again.
In worst case scenario, if you run out of room, someone could sleep in the shower.
True story.
True story. 12 people can sleep in the shower if you want.
Vertically. I don't know that that's how you want to sleep.
Depends on what you get into now.
You can do horizontally, but so many people on top of each other.
Well,
you have to really like your neighbor.
Yes, you do, Mr. Rogers. All right, Adam, take closing with remarks.
So, I kind of love this resort when we stayed there. I didn't think I would. I was afraid it was going to be too stuffy and too much for me. And I really enjoyed my time there. As much as you think it's stuffy, it's like anything else. It's what you make of it. If you want it to be stuffy and you feel that you don't fit in, you're never going to fit in. And that's why this group comes into play. You fit in wherever the fuck you go if you're a fucking cheater. There's always somebody down in Disney who's fucking wanting to hang out, wanting to grab a drink. And we're growing exponentially every day. It's anything is what you make of it. We had fun. We had fun at Victoria and Albert's. We were saying crass things and things we probably shouldn't have said at Victoria and Albert's. We still did it. So, cheater till I die, I guess, is the best way I can end this conversation. And that's it, Mikey. It's on you.
Cheater till I die. That sounds like something that should be a patch on the back of a biker's jacket or something like that.
And I will wear that patch proudly.
we need now we need 3 sheets of biker gangs.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. I think there's a very small percentage of cheaters that actually have a motorcycle. Maybe like another small percentage have bicycles.
Yeah, I don't even have a bike. Well, then I never learned how to ride a bike, so that's a different story for another day.
I'll teach you when you visit. I'll start you slow with like a paddle boat or a pedal boat. I want to echo what everybody said. This resort, it's just if you ride the monorail, you see this resort. And you go past it, and of an evening, it's very striking because everything is lit up with great big light bulbs. That doesn't make any sense when I say it like that, but there's strings of lights line the outline and the lines of the resort. I mean, obviously at night things are lit up with light bulbs. That's makes. This is just a very romantic looking resort. It's a very fun place to be. It's not stuffy. Give it a shot, have an orgy in the shower. Picture it didn't happen.
Or park your car in the shower.
I regret that. If it's a Nissan,
You
probably get you can get a Daewoo in there, no problem.
Nissan Versa.
You probably get a Juke in there. So Grand Floridian's great. I wish I would have caught the band, but they didn't play while we were there. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Is that a radio thing? We're going to go with it. For listening this week to 3 Sheets to the Mouse. Do us a favor. If you did or did not like this, give us some type of activity over on iTunes. Just search us up. If you're listening to it, you already know how to find it because everything's on iTunes. Rate and review. Let us know how things are going with the show. If you
didn't like it, keep your opinions to yourself.
In your ear holes.
And my name is Susan, and this has been
Table Talk.
Yes, there you go.
Trout Talk.
No. This has been Trump Talk.
Coffee Clutch.
Coffee
Coffee Clutch.
So, Shooters, thank you for this time, for your time. And until next time you're standing in line at the Starbucks and you don't know what to order, just say, a fucking coffee. So long for just a while.
We hope to come back for episode 138.
And thank you.
Hi, my name is Susan, and this has been Coffee Clutch with us. If you don't like it, send all your complaints to me, susan@gmail.com. Thank you. Karen, I saw you got not nice with the manager at Starbucks the other day. It really wasn't called for.